Hey everybody, this is Mr. Horton with a series of video backup lessons for Studio Art 1, Studio Art 2, and film appreciation and cinematography. Verni Arts, Iona Prep. Okay guys, this is wireframe full body drawing, which is our big second project grade. Remember, you do not have to show me hands or facial features or hair. It has to be at least the waist up in the drawing and at least fill up 60% of the page. Please color it, and the background is optional. Okay, so the very first step of this project is picking what you are drawing. And remember, it is perfectly okay to just make up the thing you are drawing off the top of your head. You can do that, okay? But if you're picking an image off the internet, here's some tips. Okay guys, so I gave you guys this picture of SpongeBob where I have it 3 times over here. Now you'll see the one picture on the left. You're gonna see this very stereotypical picture of SpongeBob where it looks like a SpongeBob picture you'd see on like a t-shirt. Okay, I would say that's too simple for what we're picking for this project. Okay, it's better to pick one of the 2 images on the right for different reasons. Now the one on the top right, that's better due to dynamism, movement. So you see movement on SpongeBob. Now, is SpongeBob any harder in that picture than he is in the standing picture still? No, I would say it's a similar degree. I mean, you'd have to draw the sock in his hand and the tongue, but for the most part, it's more interesting. That's how you kind of want to approach this project. And on top of that, the one on the top right has Patrick in the background, so you do have the ability to draw also Patrick. You also have the ability to draw the background, which is super interesting, so you can have a nice little scene there. The one on the bottom right is better just due to sheer difficulty. There's a realism there, there's a shading there. Again, you have the background there, you have more realistic lighting, okay? So again, try to broach the project from first, what you think you can do, okay? Second, what you're interested in doing, and third, what's just overall like has movement or realism, lighting, color. You want to kind of think of all these things. Don't just think of like a clip art image of what you want to do. Now, my source image that I picked is an image from one of my favorite episodes of the original Dragon Ball anime, which is this picture of Tien where he's sprouting arms out of his back. Now, I'm going to do this. Now, this is very symmetrical. Okay, and it kind of hits all the points. It's not terribly hard to draw. It's mostly hard on the coloring end. But yeah, this is my source image. Okay, now on to the actual steps of how to actually draw the project. Okay, so I got my pencil out, I got my eraser out, I got my paper in the orientation I need it, so horizontal, and I have my source image on my phone so I can easily just reference what I'm doing. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is establish a wireframe head. So I'm going to find where the head of my character is, and I'm going to just kind of loosely sketch in a circle where I think I'm going to start the picture. So again, that's going to be the skull of the character, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to edge out the rest. I'm going to give it a good cross. Now remember, wireframe is just a step-off point, okay? You do not need to do wireframe for the whole picture if you are uncomfortable with doing it. Okay, if you think it looks weird, don't do it. Okay, so if you just want to look at your source image and try to draw your picture on the page per the regulations that I gave you, with like you don't have to show hands or facial features, you could do that. Because in the end, if you produce a good picture with this, it'll be a good picture and it'll be a good grade. So the wireframe you're not going to see anyway. So the wireframe is just there as a stepping stone. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to wireframe this whole figure out. I will be right back. This is going to cut to the whole wireframe being done. Okay, so here I am back and I've done the wireframe in, and you'll notice I gave him a big circle for his chest. Okay, I gave him like a rectangle for the waist and some curves for the legs, and mostly I was just doing ovals and circles. So I got a big oval here, an oval here, diamond shape, another diamond shape for the elbow, bell shape for the fist, and again, it kind of goes around like that. So here's the wireframe. Now my next step is I'm going to go back through with my pencil again, and I'm going to start just edging this all out, and I'm actually going to start making this look like the person it should look like. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to now cut to this being drawn a little bit better by going back through with erasing and redrawing. Okay, be right back. Okay, so here I am back, and I've penciled in a lot of the detail in the figure, and you'll notice it looks a lot more clean. And again, I erased the inside lines and just cleaned up a lot. Now, this was my first big step of this project. This is gonna be the first big hurdle for you guys. It's gonna take you guys at least a full class to go from wireframe to something finished looking in the drawing, if not 2 classes. Okay, so at this point, you probably ask yourself, what's the next thing you should do? And there's a couple ways you could approach this. I could go right into coloring, start coloring it. I could go into outlining, which is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take the black color pencil, I'm going to outline all my lines. I could also take the Sharpie and outline all my lines, or the black pen and outline all my lines, but that's not, you don't have to do that. Okay, but yeah, you can go right to coloring or outlining. Okay, I'm gonna go right to the outlining with the black color pencil. We're gonna cut to the outline, be right back. Okay, so here we are. I've now outlined the entire thing in a black color pencil. I also went through with an eraser, and I just made sure that a lot of my lines were like cleaner. Okay, my pencil lines showing through. Now, my next step is I'm going to start to color this, and I'm just going to go color to color. Now, remember, each color you put on, you can technically get 3 colors out of any one color pencil via pressing 3 different intensities, light, middle, and hard. Okay, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to start coloring this, and I'll show this to you in a series of steps. All right, so for coloring, I started out with the blues on the pants, then I put purples on the pants in the middle. Then I went to reds, and you'll notice I put 2 tones on the belt in the red, a light and a dark, and then I put red on the cuffs, and then the hardest part of this was putting the red on the skin because it had to flow with the line. In particular, the reds on the face, the ears, and the abs were the hardest parts, but yeah, no, I colored that lightly. Then I added 2 tones of green to the character's cuffs. I then went to pinks on the skin, which again worked very similar to the reds, and then finally I went to tan on the skin, which is, I think, labeled as a peach in your color pencil box, okay? But that's the rest of the skin thing. And yeah, this is the final product, all right? Now, at this point, when you get your picture to look colored, you're gonna photograph it, you're gonna upload it to Google Classroom. It's gonna be our second project grade. It's worth 100 points. Please email me if you have any questions. And in particular, if you are stuck halfway through this project and you don't know how to do something, please take a picture of your project, throw it in a Google and a Gmail, and then email it to me, and I will get back to you and try to help you finishing the project as best I can if you are stuck. Again, worth 100 points, second project grade. Let's look at, as we close out this video, I'm gonna show you guys some old examples of students' work that have done this project. Okay, so the first example I'm showing you guys, this is one from Boondocks. I often will get Boondocks characters, I think because their head shapes work well with the wireframe. Remember, your drawing doesn't have to be governed by the wireframe that I gave you guys. You can do other stuff. Next one is this One Punch Man one, which is in a very similar pose to the Boondocks one. Arms crossed can be a little bit difficult if you try to do it. If you do it wrong, it looks like someone's pouting. Next one's this one from Regular Show. Again, Regular Show, Adventure Time, Rick and Morty. These characters are all like kind of perfect to do because they have a certain degree of simplicity married to like cool colors and cool poses and dynamism. So they're perfect jump off points. This next one's of Kratos from the new God of War. This one's more so on the difficult end, but this kid could obviously draw. Next one is Luffy from One Piece. This was a good use of space for this project. Next one, every year I get someone doing the back of a jersey. This one kind of hinges on your ability to draw the text on the back of the jersey well. But you can avoid doing the face and you can avoid doing the hands if you try to do this one. Next one is Jake sitting down on himself. This kid probably didn't use much of a wireframe on this one. He kind of seems like he just drew it off the top of his head, which is again fine. Next one is Vegeta. Dragon Ball characters work really well with the wireframe I gave you guys. This kid did crush the wireframe a little bit to make it a little bit more vertically squished, which I think it ends up looking fun, almost like a Pixar version of Vegeta. Next one is this football player. I get a lot of football and baseball players with this one. Remember, football players in particular, the helmets are not easy to draw. This next one, this kid drew this player, and it's not colored. Remember, you don't have to color your drawing, but if you're not coloring it, it better be drawn pretty well, okay? And it better have things like shading in it. And this one in particular I liked a lot because it reminded me of like a graffiti image with all the text in the background, because the proportions on the character himself aren't that great. the arms are in weird proportion, but yeah, no, it's really good. Next one is this one from Attack on Titan. Again, this kid could draw really well. He could shade really well. And the final one, again, is a self-portrait of one of the kids at Iona. And he did this one black and white. He spent a very long time doing it. And again, drawing helmets are not easy. Drawing jerseys are not terribly easy. Drawing padding and wrinkles and all that stuff is not terribly easy. And again, you want to just try to have fun with this. Pick something that you think you could do. And again, if you have any trouble, just email me. If you have any questions about the assignment, email me or refer to the project on Google Classroom. See you in class.